Everything is ready for the perfect shot. You've got good light, the frame is great, you take the picture and it's garbage because of your phone. Today I'll try to explain to you how to make your smartphone camera as good as a DSLR camera, the one I'm shooting with right now. Okay, of course, you cannot reach the DSLR camera levels, but don't exit this video because it's not clickbait. You can actually outperform your camera with this simple trick. You can easily gain a lot of details by this simple process I'm about to explain to you. We are talking about Google Camera. You may have heard it as GCam also. Some of you may already know it, but let's explain what it is and how it can help your smartphone camera by a lot. GCam is the Google application for the camera and installed on Pixel phones and so on. The processing is as important as the sensor itself, because if you have a garbage processing image, you won't be able to take a very sharp picture, even if your sensor is pretty good. The digital image processing is what translates the data collected by your camera as the final result, as the final pic that you see on your display. And of course, if this process isn't as good as sensor, you won't have a sharp image. And that's why I've been using GCam for some weeks by now, and the results are awesome, stunning. The smartphone used is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8, which I cannot find right now. Where have I placed it?
6.5 hours later.
You can clearly see the differences that I'm showing you right now, somewhere, I don't know, between the images. I've taken both images just by placing the focus and then snapping the shot. I've seen a couple of very clear differences. This stock camera app in my smartphone takes the image at 8000 by 6000 pixels, and the GCam takes it at 3998 by 2246. What does this mean to your image? Well, of course, higher resolutions requires more powerful components to process the images, and if the CPU isn't as performant as it needs, you won't get a really sharp image even if the pixels are higher. And with the Snapdragon 664 mounted on my phone, you don't have a lot of power, so scaling the resolution is actually worth it. And another thing that I have noticed is the Easel Balancing. This is not really important in DSLR cameras because you will almost every time manually adjust it, but in phone this is not a thing. The ISO on the GCam are usually lower, while on the stock Android camera app it's usually higher. What this means is that higher ISO means worse quality image, but it also means that the shutter speed can be higher, so you don't have to stay still like you have sometimes to do on the GCam, because if you have a lower shutter speed, you can lower the ISO because you have enough light. I found the GCam very useful even to take pictures of stars. Yeah, because you can actually do it with this GCam. There's a specific mode, not the night mode, which is awesome, by the way. I'll show you some frames, some shots right now. But there's an astronomy mode, which helps you to make perfect pictures of the stars. You need a solid tripod or a solid surface to place your phone on, because it will take some seconds to process the image and to shot the image, but this is awesome. Let's now talk about the downsides of the GCam, because of course it has downsides. I've installed mine on the Redmi Note 8 just by simply downloading an APK file from XDA forum, which I love. It helps me every time I have an issue with my smartphone. But this is not the case for every smartphone, because if you don't have the 2AP level 3 authorization by default on your smartphone, and from Android 9 up to Android 10 it is by default enabled, but with older smartphones, with older Androids, it is not. So you may have to root your device to gain this access, as you need also root authorization to use ultra-wide and 2-pair cameras on my smartphone. So I could try that if you really enjoyed this video, but don't recommend to do it if you're in the warranty period, because rooting your device avoid your warranty. And that's it. So if you have the camera 2 AP level 3 enabled by default, I highly recommend you to download this awesome GCam. I'll leave the XDA forum in the bio description so that you can easily download the APK. But if you haven't, if you run an old version of Android, I don't recommend to just root your device for this. If you already have rooted it, go ahead and do it. Thanks for watching, leave a like, subscribe, let me know if you have the GCam. If you want to install it, I may help you installing it, and see you soon.